So, and that's not the only issue with natural sweeteners. I mean, yeah, that's the kind of aesthetic reason, but there's a lot of health issues as well with artificial sweeteners. Now, the big one right now, we have aspartame. Of course, that's a big one. It's in everything. Of course, splendid is coming up, right behind it at a rapid rate. But aspartame, that was discovered by accident in a lab, in the 50s when they were working on an ulcer drug or something. And they discovered aspartame. They discovered that it had no calories and that it was like 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. And so they began testing on it, and they discovered it was very dangerous. It actually took about 30 years for the FDA to pass aspartame, and they had, and it wasn't passed with a lot of accurate information. So there's a guy that a lot of us have heard of his name who actually helped pass aspartame. He was part of the laboratory, the corporation that was doing all the tests for aspartame. His name is Donald Rumsfeld.
Yes, isn't it?
What a guy. He's a good guy, right? Yeah, so he worked for years to pass aspartame. We've gone through a lot of laboratory testing, of course animal testing, fortunately, where all the animals died, and there was a lot of issues with it because aspartame, when it goes into the system, gets digested. A lot of chemical things happen in the digestive system when things get digested. Things turn into different things, convert to different chemicals. Well, aspartame converts into methyl alcohol and formaldehyde. No. Formaldehyde equals bad, So, and they have discovered, of course, as aspartame is heated to higher than 86 degrees, that level increases. And aspartame is also in dry foods, cooked foods, baked goods, whatever. So that's a problem. It can cause a lot of neurological issues. They've noticed that people who eat a lot of aspartame are more prone to Parkinson's and MS and those kind of diseases. Actually, the FDA gets the most complaints the FDA gets is about aspartame. About 85% of their complaints yearly are about aspartame. And there's actually such things as aspartame poisoning. People are really drinking a ton of diet sodas or eating a lot of diet foods. Not everyone's the same. Not everyone's going to get that. I'm not trying to scare you, but certain people might not be able to process that as well or be able to deal with that as well in the body. So they can get adverse reactions, like headaches. A lot of people get migraines, headaches, blurriness in the eyes, those kind of things, drowsiness, mood swings, things like that. So another issue with aspartame or artificial sweeteners in general is depression. Now, why is that? Well, pretty much the same thing we were talking about before. Sugar touches the tongue, insulin, blah, blah, blah. Well, insulin is responsible for working with serotonin in the brain. That's a neurotransmitter of happiness. So pretty much what happens, sweet touches the tongue, insulin goes. Where's the sugar? It's nowhere. Well, it gets so fed up with this cat and mouse game, the body actually stops producing as much insulin. It stops releasing, as much insulin as it could have. So with decrease of insulin, decrease of serotonin. So that's why a lot of people, and that's the thing, is people aren't really aware of this right away. It's not really a sudden thing that pops up at them when they're doing these things, but over time, things can happen, and they don't know why. So it's important if you know someone who's really eating a lot of diet things, a lot of sodas and things like that, just see what's going on there.